And so, the first arc of Noragami Season 2 comes to an end. This was quite the arc, and probably one of my favorite arcs, I think, since Season 1. Now, my personal favorite arc, I think, was Yukine's arc, when we got to see how Yukine was coming to terms with being a spirit or a regula for a god. That was personally one of my favorite arcs, but this right here, this was quite the arc. I enjoyed this arc, especially getting to see Bishamon's perspective, Kazuma's perspective, and what really drove her to hate Yato, and how Yato has been putting up with Bishamon and Kazuma for all of these years, and what he's had to deal with. So, this arc, I think it was a great first arc for Season 2, and I think everybody could probably agree with me that it was a pretty damn good arc. Now, one thing I want to talk about is Kugaha, you know, our main villain of this arc. So, to quickly summarize the motive of Kugaha, which Yato decided to summarize, actually. I'm just taking this from Yato. Kuga wanted Mommy to notice him, or notice me, Mommy. That's exactly what Kuga wanted from Bishamon, and that was his entire motive to stir up shit. In his mind, he wanted the best, you know, Mommy. He wanted the best Mommy, he wanted Mommy at her best, and since she wasn't at her best, he decided to kill off all, you know, the regulars and stuff, and which caused this entire arc. So, in his mind, he didn't believe he was doing anything wrong. That's what he thought, because if he was lying to himself, or if he thought he was doing something wrong, it would have stung Bishamon, and she would have realized it. So in his mind, he truly believed he was doing the right thing. So, could you really say the person is overall bad if he believed he was doing the right thing? I guess he just has some warped logic, but still, the motive of our villain, I gotta be honest here, I don't like him. I'm not a big fan of Kuga and his motive, because coming down to just notice me, Mommy, since Yato was the one that kind of said that. I'm not the one really saying that. It was Yato that said that. It really is like, okay. Now, I do have to commend this arc for giving character development for Bishamon, Kazuma, Yato, Hiyori finally having to come to terms with that. Maybe Yato is trying to keep her in that state because Hiyori is the only one that knows about Yato, and if Hiyori is to forget, well, Yato most likely might disappear. So, I mean, we have a lot of issues that have been brought up and will probably have to be settled with this upcoming arc, which I'm looking forward to as well. Now, getting back into Kuga, though, I don't believe this is the final time we'll probably ever see Kuga. I think Kuga might come back. Maybe not this upcoming arc, but probably an arc after that, which will probably not be in this anime series. Like, this is probably the final time we might see Kuga in Season 2, which I guess that's a good thing, because like I said, I'm just not a big fan of Kuga after finding out his entire motive. Now, do I believe he might come back for vengeance against Yato? Maybe Hiyori? Possibly, because in his mind, he thought that he was doing the right thing. He thought he was doing the right thing, and he was helping out Bishamon, which he wasn't. We know as the audience, you know, watching the show, no, he wasn't doing the right thing. But in his mind, he did. So for Bishamon to cast him down like that, maybe he might get angry with Bishamon, or maybe he might turn his anger towards Yato and Hiyori and strike at Hiyori, which is close to Yato, and that would hurt Yato in the process, since Hiyori is like the only person that really knows about Yato, and I guess you could consider worships him, even though she doesn't worship him. I mean, she's like the only one that really knows about him. So, of course, if he was to attack Hiyori, that would be very bad for Yato. That's why Yato was just so upset with this, because he, you know, hurt his friend, but also Hiyori's like the only person that really is connecting Yato to the physical realm. So if it wasn't for Hiyori, you know what happens. Speaking of worshipping, however, the next title episode, like the episode's title for next week, is called How to Worship a God, or Worshipping a God, or something. So, the title, I wonder where that's trying to go. Like, if that's trying to imply that Yato might be trying to get more worshippers. Like, I mean, Yato is always trying to do that, but I mean, is it to where Yato finally will get more worshippers, or is Hiyori and her family going to be, like, worshipping Yato? Because we do know, right before Hiyori, you know, or right when Hiyori went unconscious, she got taken up to where Bishamon was, and then Yato was there at her bed before he went to go fight Bishamon. You had to where her parents were like, please, you know, Kami-sama, save her, like, you know, keep her safe, and then he got pissed off, and then he started going up. So what if, like, her parents or whatever might start worshipping Yato, which would be pretty cool if it does turn out to be something like that. But yeah, I mean, overall episode, very nice. I like Kazuma, how, you know, the ending part of this episode was concluded with Kazuma crying, and he just puts the book over his face. You see the tears coming down. Very sweet conclusion. And then also how all the Regula and all that were talking, and just, you know, interacting with each other, saying they're trying to move on after the events of what happened. So, I mean, some good development, good character progression, and overall, a very good arc. I mean, it's not the best arc, because personally I prefer, you know, the Yukine arc, but this was a very close second. So, tell me your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.